Hello, welcome back to Weekend Movie Bros, where I am Jacob from Jacob is Here, and this person is...
Ray, hi, from RT Jones 18, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point.
Sure.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's up?
So this is kind of weird. We're in the same room.
Yeah.
It's a bit different.
There's not a screen dividing us.
Yeah, no, I'm not small today.
No.
I'm quite big.
I know, it feels kind of weird. That's better. So we usually do these every once in a while, where it's kind of a slow story week. I mean, yeah, we got D23 stuff this past weekend, which we can talk about.
Which we can talk about.
Which we can, we won't. We got a couple trailers, nothing really big. You know, stuff involving a clown, double lightsaber, and a guy getting cut in half by a door. Nothing really important. And, you know, tomorrow is not probably the biggest thing Netflix has put out since Stranger Things, in my opinion.
See, I just don't...
On a production standpoint.
Maybe.
On a production standpoint.
Maybe.
We'll get into it. But I want to bring something up here to the people. As you all can clearly see within the channel, it's been kind of vague of me, and I want to be upfront about it. You know, we're all movie people here, and I want to be upfront. There's been a lot of stuff going on with me involving certain members of my party, and it's kind of kept me away from a lot of things, including my own channel. And I personally want to thank my brother for doing such a fantastic job with the channel and, you know, keeping it regularly updated with videos that you guys are clearly liking. The bombshell video, was not expecting what we got from that at all.
No, it was not. If I would have known, my word choices would have been better.
However, though, the fact that you are intrigued with how much we are both, I think, to talk about it. I'm very intrigued with the trailer. I'm very intrigued to see the film, which probably means we're going to be doing a video about it, probably.
Yeah, definitely there will be a follow-up.
There has to be. First off, bravo to the production designing and prosthetics on that film, because when it says Charlize Theron, I'm like, there's no Charlize Theron in this movie.
Yeah, I showed it to my mom. Like, I was like, the way I'm doing trailers personally, over, you know, differently on this channel. I was like, I want to show her how I'm doing it, but also like, can you tell me who that is? And she's like, yeah, it's the one, it's the girl. And I was like, what's the name? She's like, it's not an actress. She's not an actress. And I was like, who is it, Mom? And then it starts running. She's like, no, it's not.
She looks like Megyn Kelly.
She looks like Megyn Kelly.
She's the only one. I wonder why they went that way with her, but not the other two.
I'm not familiar with the story,
but I want to get more familiar with it. But again, like I said at the top of this, you've done a great job with the channel. You do a lot for YouTube, and the fact that you've still made time to do stuff for ours. And we understand people are kind of aggravated, mainly with him, because of we promised some content a while back involving a show on Netflix, but it's too much to deal with currently.
No, it's I'm editing it tonight.
Right, but if you've been wondering where it's been, you know, it's coming. A lot like a certain review about turtles and bats. Eventually, we'll get there. By the time Batman vs. TMNT Part 3 comes out, which we made a joke last time. But speaking of Batman, let's dive into what we watched yesterday, which you guys saw the reaction for. The positivity around the Joker trailer has been absolutely amazing. However, though, I completely agree with you. This film, it's not a DC movie.
It doesn't feel like one. It is a DC movie. It just doesn't.
We talked about yesterday in the trailer reaction. You saw we got into it a little bit, what we do, and it's completely. You're right. It's not a DC movie. It's very much awards contending. Actually, is it Friday? Saturday's the premiere. And we'll get to know from that premiere whether or not DC and Warner Bros. Will up the embargo for the reviews, whether or not it's a DC film or an arts film. But I've been watching a lot of positivity on it. Everybody's looking forward to the movie. You seen anything different, or have you seen anything negative?
No, I've seen everything. Everything is relatively positive. I mean, you have those people who just hate on DC to hate on DC, and those
I was one of them.
Those people are still there. They're so frequent. They're not going away.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people who normally would probably be on the side of saying this looks horrible that actually says, no, this looks decent. Maybe not amazing, but It looks okay.
It looks intriguing enough to go see. And I have an update on the Joker story.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, we both have sources that we go to and talk to. We will not disclose who or how, but we do. And I actually know a little bit about the script for Joker.
I don't want. We're not going to talk any spoilers.
It's not spoilers. It's the tone of the script that has got me kind of worried now. I've heard the script much like Joker is all over the place tonally, and from what the trailer gave us, I kind of hope it keeps that tone that the trailer gives. Like, it's not serious, but you understand like his psychological path through from the beginning of the film to the end of the movie. And from what I've heard, the tone is all over the place from the script, so I'm kind of nervous about that. But you know, I trust my sources. They said the movie's still fine though. They've seen a rough cut of the film. They said it's fine though. We'll know more on Saturday. That's all I can really talk about till the movie actually comes out when we talk about it in depth. But yeah, that's Joker. Do you want to hit on anything D23 related besides film? Like anything from nothing Marvel or Star Wars? Anything that you took from the panel that really got you?
No, there wasn't really anything. I would say the thing I took away from D23 is that D23 was disappointing. Just like Comic-Con, they both were underwhelming for something that's supposed to be super big, that we're supposed to be like in awe about. I wasn't super in awe about. I saw some of the trailers that did drop that looked pretty cool. I saw some of the ideas that are coming for Disney Plus in particular seemed really intriguing and interesting. But overall, for like the convention, I was relatively disappointed. Now, I do have people that I follow who was there at the convention, who got to go to the panels, who got to see it, who had an amazing time. But from an outsider point of view, who's reading the articles, watching the interviews,
we didn't see much, really.
It was just relatively boring, it's not as good as Comic-Con. They don't release their panels in video form.
Let me ask you a question. If the Star Wars... Do you think Disney put out the Star Wars stuff on purpose? Because I heard from people that the D23 footage we got for 9 was not supposed to be released to the public. That was supposed to be exclusive.
I'm sure they were going to eventually.
But why do you think they released it so quickly? Because of the hype of Mandalorian and how much Star Wars was in the positive at the time?
Yeah.
I thought it was going to reflect on it a little bit?
Well, also, the consensus out of D23 from the Star Wars Episode 9 panel was, this looks absolutely amazing. I need to tell every single one of my friends, you guys need to switch boats and we need to go see this, in December. That was the panel. That was the overall census.
Yeah.
And they were probably like, oh God, everybody's trying to boycott us. Release.
What's crazy to me, it felt like Marvel and Disney switched at D23. Whereas I think Marvel really showed their stuff at Comic-Con and really just gave it all out. Whereas at D23, we got the announcement of May 2022 for Black Panther 2. Which can change. I mean, I'm not going to go by release dates for Marvel at all. Phase 3, when you look at Phase 3 now to what we revealed at their Marvel convention a couple years ago, very different. So for all we know, Black Panther 2 could change its release date. You and I have talked about Moon Knight, She-Hulk, Miss Marvel to death. I'm excited for all of them, but that's not forever, I think. Not until at least 2022. I don't think.
We'll have to wait and see.
But Star Wars, for some odd reason, we now know why they didn't go to Comic-Con.
Well, they don't deserve a place at Comic-Con. It's what it comes down to, is that they don't. They have their convention that they put on every year.
But the fact that D23 Star Wars was better than Celebration Star Wars says something. I have not seen this much positivity around the brand
since Force Awakens.
Not even since Rogue One.
Oh, Rogue One, yeah.
I think...
Me personally didn't like the movie, but a lot of people did. A lot of people believe it's one of the best Star Wars movies ever.
I hate being this way, but it helped because of nostalgia and 2 really damn good trailers. I think if the Ewan McGregor thing didn't happen, I think people would have been severely pissed because throughout the week we've been hearing about this speculation that was going to pop up. And the fact that it did makes us feel better. Mandalorian hit really hard with its trailer.
Which, personally, I thought was extremely weak. But I'm much different than most audience viewers. I thought what they showed us was really cool. But also, I was, just from my reaction, you can tell I was just extremely confused. And then I just didn't care.
Yeah. And then they hit us earlier this week with
On Monday.
On Monday with the D23 footage for 9, which we were reversed. I loved Mandalorian and you loved 9.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't like Mandalorian. I rewatched the 9 footage again, and my issue with the 9 footage is kind of weird to me because I love what Endgame did, because we talked about this. The last 2 trailers for Endgame really hit the nostalgia feels for the MCU. Star Wars just did that. And for me, it kind of felt weird. Like, the way they did it felt weird. Like, if they're going to do it in order, it should have gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, see, that's what when I watched the trailer, I was like, and I even mentioned it because my reaction to the trailer is up on the channel in case that's something you guys want to go see an actual true impression. My impression, I would say it's pretty good.
The picture says it all.
But in the trailer, I was like, okay, so this is the originals, and I was like, oh wait, why are we going to the prequels? Because, like, logically, it doesn't make sense if we're going through a story element,
right.
Period. It would be the prequels, and then, but they wanted the hardcore nostalgia factor, which is the originals and not the prequels. So, like, by a standpoint, by a business standpoint,
yeah,
it made sense, but also from, like, if you're trying to tell a story standpoint, it was relatively confusing because they're the same timeline, just into...
Especially with, the big thing that they did finally for Star Wars is they gave us a timeline. They gave us Age of Rebellion, Age of the Republic, Age of Rebellion, Age of Resistance finally. They gave us, like, a proper timeline where everything fits. So why in their footage would they reverse it? It made no sense to me. But however, the footage we led up to, why no one's talking about Evil 3PO boggles my mind. I have watched so many reactions and everybody just goes, oh.
I didn't notice it. I didn't notice it until I had someone point it out to me. I was watching a reaction from a fan or whatever of Star Wars, and like, no one's talking about the evil eyes. And it's because there's rumors that he's not actually evil. There's rumors that maybe this is CP3O's death mode or something like kill mode or something like that.
I hope they don't do that.
There's a lot of theories out there that he's not evil, but there's also a theory out there that he is evil and that he's always been evil and that he's been a droid that's been working on the inside.
So let me ask you a question. Do you think C-3PO dies in episode 9?
Honestly, and I mean this truthfully, I think they're probably going to clear slate. And the only person that from the original that would not die is Carrie Fisher, because that would just be like real really bad. Wrong. But everybody else, I would say, is completely up for grabs. Everybody from the original. I don't
think Lando's gonna die.
I wouldn't say it. They killed off at least one main character from the original trilogy in every movie so far.
It could be Chewie. That would suck.
I think a lot of people would write.
What if it's R2?
I don't think. I mean, okay, R2 and Chewie. I think CP3PO has its fans, but it's not as big as
watching R2 get blown up would be kind of harsh.
It's not like R2D2. It's not like Chewbacca, who has a huge fan base, and you already killed
Solo
Han.
helped with Chewbacca. I think Chewbacca really raised in people's notions, and I love the guy that I got for Chewie since Force Awakens up to this point.
So I think there's much more of a chance that it could be Lando or it could be CP3O or both. I'm not going to deny that they both could die.
Does the Millennium Falcon blow up in 9?
I would personally, I want to clear slate, so do it.
That'd be ambitious if they did that.
I want
really
them to do
ambitious.
It. When they come back in 5 years with episode 10, we know that's happening. We
don't know if they're continuing. Well, we know that the Skywalker saga is over, so that doesn't mean they have to do an episode 10 to continue the story.
I'm sure they will, because everything is done by episodic stuff.
Right,
it makes complete sense. And
but that's why I bring this up. It didn't come out on stage obviously because of reasons. The guys from Game of Thrones.
Oh my god, yeah. See, they should totally just.
I don't think so.
Delete them.
We're going off one season of a show.
I'm going off of 3 seasons of a TV show that they completely ruined. From the time they left the books, from the time they left any standpoint of canon, and they got to have free reign over whatever they could do, it was bad. I didn't like it at all.
But we're also talking about 2 very different things, though.
Kind of the same.
And if what we're hearing about them doing Knights of the Republic is true, which I hope it is, I think it'd be really cool for us to take a step back and not go like original back, like all the way back, and see the origins of the Sith, the Jedi, and how that all came to be. That could be the new story we follow. We can follow the story of Darth Bane when he rises as a Sith trainee to the Emperor that devises the war that starts with.
I don't know.
I think it'd be cool.
My personal opinion is this.
Where would you go with a 10?
I want complete original. I don't want anything to do with anything we've seen before. I want complete and utter original. We have been known that the Star Wars galaxy is massive and large,
right?
And yet we're sticking to one small portion of that galaxy,
because
and we've
Disney realizes that the original stuff's not going to work until we see Mandalorian. I think Mandalorian is the first true original content that's going towards the present, and if it does well, I think Disney would be feel more safer going in that direction. I think Kenobi is their way of still going backwards, but keeping it safe, because they know people are going to watch it for Ewan. Whether the show is good or not, people are going to watch that show for Ewan McGregor. Just don't let George Lucas direct it, because sand's corrosive and gets everywhere, and that's where he's going to be most of the time.
And, I don't know, I just personally believe that they should have done this before. They should have started out with, they started out with new characters, but they put them directly in the originals, and I think it hurt the new characters, Rey, Finn, Poe. I think it hurt them as characters and character developments, anything like that.
I think of the three, I think Finn got the most. I think of the three, who's gotten the most character development is Finn.
I would disagree.
I don't, because Rey has been told to be.
I'm saying they're all underdeveloped characters.
I don't think Finn is. We've seen Finn go from a not so wannabe stormtrooper to leading the resistance fight in Last Jedi to now being a commanding officer, from what we understand, in Rise. He's had a development, maybe small and not a lot, but he's had development. We had the Rose story with him in Last Jedi, which
arguably was not great.
No, and the kiss was forced at the end of the film. However, I wish the character they focused on was Poe. Of the three of them, I like Poe a lot.
But they couldn't.
No, but they start off so strong with him in Force Awakens. They could have done a lot with more. They started him again strong in Last Jedi when he made the decision he made in Last Jedi at the beginning of the film. They keep starting him off strong. They just don't know where to go with him. Same thing with Rey. In the footage we got for 9, we see her training again.
Well, she has to continue to train.
It's been 3 years since Last Jedi. At this point, you would feel like she understands how to throw a lightsaber and bring it back.
Zachary, she still has to train. If she did not train, there would be a lot more people who would be mad.
Who's training her?
No one. She's training herself. All of her mentors are dead.
No, you have to remember, we're in Star Wars. I don't think they're dead. I think Yoda, Luke, and Anakin have been training her. More so, I think Anakin. I think they're hiding this to a T. I am telling you right now. I am posting it online. Hayden Christensen will be in 9.
I hope not.
Whether talking to his daughter, not daughter, his grandson, or the clone of his father. He's going to be somewhere. I think it would be metaphorically perfect if either Portman or Christian showed up in 9 to talk to Ben in somewhere capacity. I think it'd be really cool if Vader, if he came not as Christian either. You hide the fact that it's Hayden, put him in the suit, and Vader shows up as the Force Ghost, not Anakin. And Vader explains to him what happened with the Empire, why he did what he did, realizing that he was lied to, completely false, and understanding that what Luke did was wrong. But going forward, you shouldn't blame him. You should learn from that and rise from it, a.k.a. rise as Skywalker. I think the entire film's about Kylo.
No, I agree. That's not something I don't agree with. But I don't know.
I'm excited but nervous to see another trailer because I don't want Disney to pull a BVS and give us the third final trailer for this movie and it ruin it.
Well, I am kind of sure that there is a chance that we might not be getting a third and final trailer because of the fact that Disney has been pulling a lot of strings and only putting out a teaser trailer and then either a somewhat other teaser trailer or saying that is the trailer.
By the way, can we talk about this for a second? I love the fact that studios are realized they do not need a gigantic 3-trailer marketing for their films anymore. Joker, I think, did this perfectly, where they gave us a teaser 4 months ago and a trailer 2 months before the film. And what happened? In the middle, people were still talking about the movie.
I don't know. I have problems with it because I think that ultimately for movies such as Star Wars or Frozen, things that we're super confused on, like super truly confused on, I don't like going into the. I don't want to be cookie cutter, like, oh, this is what's going to happen, you know.
Right.
But I want to know something about what I'm seeing. And I guess for both of those are sequels, and so they have a fan base built up into it.
Whereas,
but there's a lot of movies that they're doing it with completely new original ideas, and you go and you sit down, and you're like, this is not what I paid for, because there was nothing about what the actual movie's about in the trailers, and I think that's very misleading and very wrong.
And that's why I'm talking about the tonal things I heard about with Joker. Like, they're not showing us anything of the tonal stuff because they don't want to take away the tone they set up in the trailers. And like I've said, we really can't judge the film on that till Venice on Saturday. But there are companies that only put out one trailer.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It. Now, that I agree with you with. One trailer is not enough. We need at least two. I think.
Or some companies believe that they don't need two trailers; they only need one trailer, and then they'll back it up square with just TV spots, or putting an advertisement on YouTube or something like that, and then showing little bits of new information.
Right, and that's fine.
And I still think that's maybe more of a cop out, and it's more expensive. Just release the second trailer and put it from a movie.
Do you remember the Sony stuff with Spider-Man 2?
No.
They put out, for Amazing Spider-Man 2, they put out 3 5-minute trailers that gave away the entire film.
That's wrong. And I agree, Hobbs and Shaw did the same thing.
Yeah.
Whereas I think there has to be a length to it. I think 3 minutes, as we talked about before, is way too long. I think 2 minutes is a sweet spot. Now, if you're wasting a minute of an old footage, like
Endgame and Star Wars did.
You know? And I understand Endgame holding a lot back. But then again, when as soon as they stopped holding everything back, anybody who didn't see that movie, they got spoiled for it for TV spots and everything else.
That's what I like, though, is the fact that Disney, the Russos, Marvel realized at that point everybody had seen it.
But not everybody had seen it.
Well, then at that point, it's your own prerogative to click on that video and go, oh, what's Iron Man doing with that blue guy? Click, oh, it's Rescue. At that point, it's your own prerogative whether or not you click on the video.
I'm just saying, there has to be a limit between both.
Right.
You either show too less, and that's your own fault, or you show too much, and that is also your own fault. Or you try to find the medium, and no one is.
Do you think it did a good job?
I don't know yet. That's a movie that I think it probably did for the length of time that the movie takes place over. Right. So I do believe that we probably didn't see too much of.
So let me ask you a better question then.
But we also had a 3-minute trailer with it.
Do you think that how long the film is dictates how many trailers we get?
I think
because look at Endgame and now look at Star Wars. I think Star Wars is at the 2:45 mark for Rise, if I'm not mistaken. If I've heard correctly. We only got 2 trailers for Endgame, and it's a 3-hour film. I feel like they showed enough in the beginning of the film. They didn't need to show the rest of the film. What if all we've seen from Rise is literally from the beginning of the film?
Once again, I'm not so much talking about sequels. And I use sequels as an example because they're the most prolific ones that are happening right now. But for instance, horror films are infamous for doing this.
Yes, they are.
And which I understand it's all about surprises and twists, and I get that and I respect that. Comedies are now starting to do it. And there was a horror film that I watched a few months ago that I had watched the trailer for and I thought it looked really good. I can't think of the title off the top of my head. It was an indie horror film. And it was nothing. There's one scene from the trailer that was a part of the movie. They cut everything else that they showed in the trailer, and it was a completely different movie. It was to do with, satanic cults, and I was like, what am I watching? Why didn't you advertise this? This would have been something I should know going into this movie.
Right. Well, and I bring that up because we are now 3 months out of Dark Fate for Terminator, and we've only had the teaser. I don't want them to pull a Joker with that movie. This is where I kind of counteract myself. I want to see some of the bigger action scenes. I want to see when...
But I don't want to see too much.
Right, but I also want to see Sarah... I also want to see John in the trailer. I want that to be something I see in the film. So they have to realize and compensate, what to show, what not to show, and how much of it to show. Batman v Superman. I keep bringing that up because that second trailer ruined the movie for a lot of people. They gave away the most crucial part of that film at the end of its trailer. And they try to redeem themselves with trailer 3. And they did a little bit. I think trailer 3 is a stronger trailer 3 than trailer 2. But I think superhero films can get away with it more than contemporary film because they have the action behind them. They can show set pieces and they go, it's somewhere in the film, you don't know it. Whereas like with a drama.
But then again, with that being said, if you actually sit down, you actually tear apart that trailer, like shot by shot or however you want to analyze it, you can. With action pieces in alone, you can put together that whole movie.
And that's what BVS did.
From start to finish. I remember when Civil War came out, its trailers, we could basically paste together the whole entire timeline for
the
that
first
movie.
teaser, no. The second trailer with Spider-Man, you could.
Well, no, I'm talking about action sequences alone.
Right.
Is that you're like, okay, so this is the midpoint action sequence. This is the beginning. You know, because
the
they all
airport.
have the same feel to it. You kind of understand 26 minute, 23 movies in. You kind of have an understand, which is why Endgame probably did hold back. Because they're like, there's only one really big action sequence.
And it's not until like the last half hour of this epic 3-hour movie.
So we're going to show you just enough until you know it's in the beginning.
Yeah.
Which is fine. That's fine. I don't care about that.
Right.
So I don't know. It's an interesting little thing. I think all the studios are personally dealing with this. Netflix has a tendency to show too much. And like there was a thriller, Secret Obsession. It was a horrible movie, but the whole movie was in the trailer.
Oh, with Brenda's song.
Brenda's song, yeah. Watch it because of Brenda's song, and it was still a really bad movie.
Now, I think they've done a good job leading into my next topic, which is Dark Crystal. I think they've done a very good job of not giving away too much about the story. We know who the main characters are, why they're going against the Skeksis, and why the Dark Crystal is so profound in Thrar. We understand that now going into the show. I kind of got an idea of who's playing who. Speaking of, since I brought this up at the beginning of the show, how you've been doing such a good job, I think it's finally time for you to take a break when it comes to putting up videos for at least the weekend. I am shooting my reactions to Dark Crystal starting tonight. I'm going to send you the first one when it's done, and I'm hoping it'll be up tomorrow. Not tomorrow, probably Saturday will be the first episode of me doing my reaction to Age of Resistance. I've been waiting patiently for something right to come out for me to put on the channel, and I think Dark Crystal, I talked about enough on the podcast enough, you guys know I'm looking forward to it. I think it fits, and same thing with Mandalorian in November. I'm doing a reaction for Mandalorian.
Mandalorian is fine. Just sucks now I have to watch Dark Crystal. So
You don't have to.
I do, because I have to edit the reaction, so I do have to watch the TV show.
You might like it, you never
I'm
know.
going to hate it. It's going to be the worst time of my life. But it's fine. It's fine.
Is it because of puppets?
Yes.
What's up with this whole puppet?
I don't like
nepotism?
them.
What's up?
I don't like them. I think it's stupid. I don't understand how someone could sit there and watch it. It's the same thing with like, no, it's just puppets. I was trying to think of a different thing that I don't like. No, it's just puppets. I don't like puppets. I didn't like the Muppets. I thought that was stupid. I don't like... And, like, the Muppets at least talk. These puppets don't talk.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
Yes,
they
they
have
do.
no face movement.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't. And maybe they do now, but in the original, they did not. I fell asleep in the original. I was so bored
The
with it.
original is also from 1985.
It doesn't matter. You still got based off the only thing I know, and that was boring. Like, super duper boring. The voice cast can't even make me excited for this.
I brought up the wrong thing.
No, you didn't. It's just two people's opinions. You want to see it, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I
That's
don't.
the whole reason I'm keeping a Netflix subscription.
I know. Don't talk about it.
Well, we dabbled on Star Wars from D23. I think it's only fair we hit the Disney aspect and the Marvel aspect as well. I am more referenced in the Marvel stuff. You know more going on with the Disney Plus movies and the shows that they're doing. So I figured we go back and forth. Like you pick one you really want to talk about, and then we just go back and forth. So anything from the Disney side of D23 really got you at all?
Not so much Disney Plus. I think there's a lot to talk about there, but their new animated film, there's two. So
Soul and then Rave and the Last Dragon.
Yeah, so
both
of those we got a lot of information about. Some of those we even have concept art to talk about. For Soul in particular, I wasn't super impressed with the concept art, but I am liking the cast. So, did you hear anything about these movies? All right, so the cast is Tina Fey, and I want to say it's I can't think of his name. Oh gosh, he was Electro in Amazing Spider-Man 2.
G. Fox.
Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx is the main. I'm 90% sure it's Jamie Foxx is the main character, and then Tina Fey is his little thing that runs around. But this
his
one,
soul.
no,
I guess.
no. He had his soul is his self. So I'm not really sure what this is all about. Hold on, let me see it. So yeah, Jamie Foxx, I was right, and Tina Fey. So it's this land, this teacher or whatever gets either killed or something like that in the beginning of the movie.
Because Pixar has to go there.
Yeah, you have to cry. It's just a thing. It's a Pixar thing. And then his soul gets placed inside this realm called Soul. And you have a guide, and it's to take you back to your body. If I'm not mistaken, is what it's about. And it's all about death, and it's all about...
So the film's about reincarnation?
Basically. I'm 90...
Interesting for children.
Sure. Well, it's all about making you cry, and, making you cry, and...
Making you cry.
And it comes out next year in June 19th, 2020 is the initial release. We'll see if they'll be able to make it. But the actual concept art, I thought was extremely weak.
Let me see if we got it. You mean like that little... So,
yeah.
Is that Tina Fey's character?
I honestly couldn't tell you which they will... Yeah, that's Tina Fey. That's
Jamie Foxx.
That's his human self, and that's his soul.
Soul self? Okay, so...
And that's...
So I guess the journey we're going on film then is with Tina Fey and Jamie Foxx, and then trying to get back to their souls, and maybe
Tina Fey is runs a little thing, and she's like a mentor. She takes him through this whole world of the souls.
Okay, and then
the dragon one, which
is this a Disney animation film or is this Pixar?
I don't know, to be honest.
And the last.
All I know is that I'm very...
Raya, not Rava.
So... Oh, Zachary.
I spelled Rava. We watched Angry Birds last night, so I was thinking Ravario.
So Raya and the Last Dragon, which did get a cast announcement. Awkwafina will be the dragon, who looks amazing. And then also, the girl who I'm not familiar with, her name, Cassie Seal... But she is a part of... You guys, people who might watch this might know who she is. I'm not familiar with her work personally, but she's been a big part of the actual thing. This has a lot of derivativeness towards How to Train Your Dragon.
How does it make you feel?
I'm fine with it. How to Train Your Dragon's over. There's going to be another dragon picture. It is what it is. But this is all built into folklore of... I'm pretty sure Japanese folklore, if I'm not... Or, Chinese folklore is what it is. And these dragons used to kind of run the earth or whatever, and then the magic disappears, and so we have our main character, which is the person I'm not familiar with, and she has a dragon, which looks amazing. That's Awkwafina, and they go on this journey to bring back the magic to the realm that they live in. And I think it sounds really cool. The images looks really, really cool as well. Let's see if I can't pull up anything up on your broken phone.
You really have to bring up the fact that it's broken, huh?
Yeah, I do. Because it is. Alright, so yeah. So...
Oh, wow, that is pretty. So that's the dragon?
That's Awkwafina.
Let me ask you a question, and be completely blunt here. Do you like the way the dragon looks? It looks like a unicorn.
No, I just really like how the dragon looks.
The horn doesn't help?
It kind of does.
Okay.
But that's Awkwafina's character.
That's really
who
cool.
she'll be playing.
That looks really cool.
Honestly, it looks like a lot like Awkwafina.
Wow.
Which is kind of crazy in animated format.
So, this is I want to see real quick. Is this Disney Animation or is this Pixar?
I'm assuming it's probably Disney Animation.
It is Disney Animation because it was part of the Disney Animation panel. And the other big thing we got 2 casting announcements for Frozen.
No, those were already announced. We have actual characters who they're going to be playing.
Which is Sterling K. Brown and Evan Rachel Wood.
Evan Rachel Wood will play the mom, because they said the mom who died in the last movie. Swear words for Frozen, if you've never seen it from 2015, Zachary.
Can't talk.
And she'll play the mom who has a huge role in this particular film.
Which I don't know how that'll work.
I don't know either, but there's a lot of flashbacks when they're children and different things like that. And Sterling K. Brown will play a character that they didn't really disclose too much information about. We saw a character art for
we saw images for both of them.
Yeah.
And the likeness to both of them is I don't know how Disney does what they do, man, but they blow it off the park, especially as they get more realistic. I know we talked about Toy Story already, man. That opening scene to 4, it's enough to buy the Blu-ray. It's enough to buy the Blu-ray.
I still have problems with it in between.
So we both do.
No, I mean with the animation, with the ideas of where they're going with the animation.
You
I
ruined
think
a really good character.
I think animated, I still want it to look cartoony.
And they're going for like.
While but here's the difference: is that in Toy Story, I was like, is this a real life movie? Whereas Frozen, I definitely know this is animated. Which I like much more than is this an animated.
We're also getting 2 different animation studios working on these respective films. One is more contemporary, cartoon, cel-shaded kind of animation style for Frozen, whereas Pixar is always trying to leap edge forward when it comes to the human technology.
And I think personally that
I go for more the Disney animation style than Pixar. I love Pixar films, but I think the animation style fits better for me on the Disney side.
Which is really interesting because of the Pixar movie that's coming out next year, I think is really weak with the animation. And normally they're very strong. So
but we're also going on concept art for Soul.
True, but the world just looks
I mean, to be completely honest, the teaser trailer for Coco really wasn't that good. And
I didn't really like Coco.
Well, for me, I think the actual film came out looking absolutely stunning.
No, I agree with that. I completely agree with
that.
There's
a scene when Miguel falls into the water when he finds his uncle sitting underneath the ground and going into the water. It's a beautiful scene.
The world building in that one was particularly amazing.
It's a beautiful film, and the music in that movie is incredible. Hashtag no Coco 2. We don't need it. So we don't need a Coco 2. I honestly can say that for any film we don't need one.
What about you?
So we had some live action. So I'm gonna stick with the Disney Plus stuff. I think I'm more excited about Disney Plus when it comes to like original content. I mean, we both are, but I'm more invested in more of it. I think. Lady and the Tramp.
Didn't really like it.
I think looks really good, and people are not hating on when Tramp talks. I don't think it looked bad.
No, I don't think it looks bad either.
But my issue with it is that most of the film is just going to be watching these 2 dogs sit, stay, lay, and look at each other. It's not going to be them. That'll be my issue with the movie.
Well, my
other issue is that how are they going to do the Chinese cats? Because they are racist as all get out in the animated movie.
They'll change things.
They'll have to. Even though they're going to change that song completely now, though.
My only counter to yours, them not having any type of facial movements, and we're just watching animals walk around. You spent money to go see animals just
There's a difference though. I saw Tramp smile.
No,
I saw Lady smile.
That's what I mean. And so I think that makes the movie 10 times better than what they try to do with the other.
Yes, and you don't have to say other. You don't have to say the other way around. We're not Disney shows. Lion King sucked. I'm not gonna be blunt. I'm not gonna be talk around it. Lion King sucked. There was no emotion in any of that film. Ooh. We won't get into it, but it's true. There was no emotion in that movie. And the fact that I'm seeing more emotion from 2 dogs in a Disney Plus movie occurred to a almost $200 million budget CGI fest film boggles my mind. I think Jon Favreau deserves to be a legend at Disney. However, he screwed the pooch with Lion King. And I do not want him to see... I was so excited for him to do Simba's Pride. I do not want to see him ruin Simba's Pride.
But maybe they'll learn from it, and maybe they'll put emotions in.
I hope so. Have you seen the mock-up animation online of someone who redid Lion King characters as the ones from the cartoon in the live-action style? They actually smile, and it's crazy how much better that looked.
But
where's the red mane? Anyway.
Also, fun fact, and I feel like it's a necessary fun fact to talk about. This has to go away from Disney Plus back over into Disney. It still has
Disney proper.
Disney, yeah. And that is the fact that Avengers Endgame will not be able to be bought or anything in the next 2 months. They're taking it away from all the stores, all digitally, whole 9 yards, and it's just going to be a Disney Plus exclusive.
And I think that's how it is going to be going forward.
So how do you feel about that?
I think that's Disney's way. They're pulling a Sony on us, whereas we're going to take away the most important part in watching our product, but the only way to do it is with our service. Because I guarantee you, Toy Story 4 will be out for a week on Blu-ray and then be taken away and being extremely distributed on Disney+.
Now, do you think that means that once again, I think this is a way of Disney trying to be a front loader for releases because they have to release it. They have to release it, and
Yes.
there has been rumors that the Blu-rays and stuff will not be taken out of stores. It will just not be able to be bought digitally anywhere.
Yeah.
But the way it's going to work is that you can buy the Blu-ray, but you cannot buy a digital code or anything for it.
In order to get the digital code, you have to get the Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Which, honestly,
No. That there is no digital code anymore. They're getting taken out of the Blu-rays. It's just going to be the DVD. You can go out, you can buy Avengers Blu-ray wise, but if you want to watch it digitally, if you don't own it already, and there's also been rumors that if you do own it, that they're getting taken away off of the service entirely, which will make a lot of people mad. So I really hope that's not the case. Go forward with your next Disney property if that's what you want to do.
Right. But also, I don't think it's wrong to do a no digital code thing.
I don't think so either.
No, because their entire library is going to be on Plus. If you really want to watch it digitally and not have to worry about a disc, buy their service. That's what they're basically saying. If you really want that disc, you can get the disc, but there's nothing else with it. It's just the movie and the special features that come with that movie. That's it.
Yeah.
And I've always been pro disc. I think if you are a collectionist and want to complete your MCU proper with the collection of discs, go for it. But it also doesn't hurt having it on your phone or on the go, and that's where Disney Plus is going to come in. There are no other services out there that can say we have our entire library on our service. Everything else is everywhere else.
Well, I mean, I
leaving at the end of the month.
Disney is the first ever one to have. Disney is the first brand to ever come out with a streaming service that actually has a library. Netflix had to build their library.
Yes.
Hulu had to build their library. So technically, it'd be really interesting going forward with like HBO Max and ABC and all these other streaming services that are going to be popping up over the next few years if they will have their whole entire library.
But this also now brings up streaming wars, which is something Screen Junkies has established now. If this continues to happen and people continue to just want to have the stuff that they made exclusive on their streaming service, what's going to happen to Netflix? Is Netflix just going to be an original based?
Yeah, Netflix would have to be just an original based thing.
Do you think it would lose subscribers because of that?
Yeah, ultimately, yes. The top two selling things other than Stranger Things on Netflix are The Office and Friends.
And
they are losing a ton of money just from not keeping them, for not being able to keep them.
Because Friends leaves at the end of the year, right?
Friends leaves at the beginning of next year. Office leaves 2 months later. They're both leaving next year. They're not.
No, I thought Office was 2021.
No, Office is the same year as Friends. They lose them both.
I didn't know that. I thought it was 2021 and 2020.
Nope.
Huh. Kind of blew my mind there.
Yeah, they both leave, and they're both, not being a part of the service. And a lot of people have already come out and said, if you don't have these, we're quitting. There's no reason to keep you. We'll get you back when Stranger Things Season 4 shows up.
Or Dark Crystal, Age of Resistance Season 2. When certain things we want to watch drop, we're going to get you for that weekend and then drop you that quickly.
We'll renew you, we'll pay the money, and then we'll get rid of you. But
and I don't think people are just going to straight up delete their Netflix accounts. They're just going to delete they're just not going to use them and renew them back when they want them.
Yes. And I would be very curious to see how Netflix retaliates against this.
Maybe it's to where after a certain point, Netflix finally just feds up and goes, fine, if you delete it, you're deleting it, you're done.
Or
that can also happen.
Netflix is like, we don't have the money to continue making the movies and continue to producing the things that we're producing, and so we have we're not making original content.
Do you think
anymore.
Netflix will be dead by 2022?
No, Netflix is still one of the richest companies ever.
Right. No, but
it will take a lot more than this to make it go dead.
Can Netflix hold its own with just original content with its season structure? We
will have to wait and see. They're gonna have to make some very big changes to it.
Because my biggest complaint with Netflix so far when it comes to original shows is that they have a 3-season mark and they end their shows on cliffhangers and don't finish them. Our biggest thing last year was Santa Clara Diet.
But I didn't mind the ending.
Yes, but it could have gone farther.
But I understood. I didn't mind it. A lot of people
I don't count cartoons because the way they do cartoons is...
No, you can't count. Big Mouth just got renewed for 3 more seasons.
They renew it works, but I don't know why 3 seasons is their mark and done. I mean, most of Marvel's Netflix shows didn't even get to 3. Well, the only one that got to 3 were Jessica and Daredevil.
That's not so much the Netflix's.
I know it's not all Netflix's problem. Speaking of, man, we really got these segues today. So, D23 also brought us Marvel Nothing really to really talk about movie wise. We got, like I said, announcements for release dates. We got full pictures of the Eternal cast.
Kit Harington.
Kit Harington got confirmed for Black Knight. Gemma Chan for Cersei. And I'm also, on my channel, going to be putting out a review of Eternals by Neil Gaiman. I really want to start getting more into the Eternals now. They're the only thing about Marvel I do not know. I want to know more about them. And so I'll be doing you my impression of the Eternals soon, once I'm done reading. Disney Plus, we got posters and concept art for Loki, WandaVision, Falcon Winter Soldier, and What If. Of the four, Falcon Winter Soldier and What If got me the most. The comedic aspect of WandaVision, like that picture they released of like the Dick Van Dyke-esque picture of the two of them together, I thought was okay. I
feel personally offended right now.
And the stuff with Loki, unless it truly ties into Thor: Love and Thunder, I don't care about that show. But the reason in Falcon Winter Soldier and what else stood out to me so much is I like the direction taking Falcon Winter Soldier. It is another political thriller talking about, I hate saying it like this, a black man being Captain America and how much the country is not apparently okay with it. They'd rather have a white man do it. And I want to see how that story progresses in the show. I love the cast they've got, bringing back Sharon Carter, bringing in the new guy who is kind of like the whack-off UK version of Captain America, trying to come in and beat the Cap. I like that a lot. What If is going to be, I think, the coolest thing coming out of Marvel for Disney+. I like all the stories they're doing. The first one they revealed is going to be What If Peggy Carter got the serum. We saw pictures of Captain Carter with the wolves. I think it looks really cool. So what's wrong with me not liking WandaVision?
I don't know, I just felt personally offended.
Why?
Because how much I love WandaVision, so I was like, oh!
I'm looking forward to the show. It doesn't mean the concept art didn't appeal to me. And same thing with Black Widow. I think...
See, and that's where I think we both are on different wigs here.
No, I don't like the suit.
Like I said, that's why I think...
However, the poster they revealed for Black Widow, the concept poster, I thought was awesome. Seeing everybody behind him. Our first look at Hopper from Stranger Things and the Red Guardian get up with the mask on and the beard. I think he looked really cool. We're seeing Taskmaster a little bit more now. We didn't get any new footage for Black Widow, from my understanding.
I have seen leaked footage.
But from my understanding, it's the same footage from Comic-Con, just tweaked a little bit differently.
Well, I did see the Comic-Con footage. I just saw a 5-second leak thing, and the action looks brutal, and it looks amazing.
Does it look good?
Oh my gosh.
I'm so excited for Black Widow. Don't get me wrong. It's just, why change the suit now?
It's not a change of suit. It's because I do believe with a lot of people, I think it's a tactical suit. I think it's some part of this movie they're going into, because she is from Russia, that there is winter. They're going to a place with winter. She has to have a white suit. She is a tactical agent.
We also got confirmation at D23 that Budapest is in the movie.
Yeah, which I'm still not a huge fan of.
I'll be fine with it if Jerry Renner shows up as Hawkeye.
Well, I'm sure he'll be a part of it because it's Budapest.
And I wanted to bring up this theory we've talked about with the audience. Do you think the film is going to be told as a story to Jeremy's kids, to Clint's kids about Nat? And it's a way to kind of talk about the Budapest story and how they became friends.
From the movie.
I don't think so. It's a way to do an in memoriam for her a little bit.
I think he'll take away from the movie. I just want a Black Widow movie. I don't want a Black Widow movie with all this other stuff about it. If I feel like Jerry Renner's telling the story about Nat, that Hawkeye's telling the story about Nat, I feel like it takes away from Nat.
Why?
Because it's not about her.
Yes, it is.
But it's not. It's not her full story. She can't really... Who knows? Who knows? I still believe in my theory.
Your theory's fucking nuts.
I still believe my theory is that she is back and she has to come out of retirement at some point in the movie. Who knows if that's how it starts? I don't feel like that's how it's going to start out. But I do believe it's going to be like a Gone Girl thing. And it's going to jump into a different, whoa!
But are you okay with them bringing her back?
Yes, I'm totally okay with it. Oh my gosh,
but doesn't that take away from the sacrifice she made for the Endgame?
No, because it makes total sense. She didn't want to come out fighting because everybody thought she was dead.
She died. We watched it happen.
No, everybody thought she was dead.
No,
hold on. Everybody thought she was dead. Hawk even says, I tried to bring her back. I really tried. But she never told anybody that she did come back. I think it's legible. I'm okay with it.
And there's a lot of fall.
It doesn't matter, Zachary.
There's blood out of the head.
I believe that. I get that, but she could still come back. We watched everybody else explode. into poofing this.
It'll be really hard to sell me on that. It really
I'm
will.
sold.
It really will be.
I'm already sold.
So we have I don't like to do this. We got web updates for Spidey.
Very late.
Tom Holland was at this year's
D23.
no, he's also at another convention in Philadelphia called WizardCon, and he did a panel, and there was no one from Disney there to hold him back. He talked a lot about this situation with Sony and Marvel, and I don't feel like anybody was telling him what to say or what to do. He did bring up the 3000 thing again. He said D23, which again I think is like his farewell tours saying. But he did bring up the fact that as of right now, his contract obligates him to do one more Spider-Man film, whether it be with Marvel Studios or not. So we now know that the next film can be a technical Sony film, but it will tie into the other two. Which is news, which is new information to me, because I really thought that it was just supposed to be, if they weren't going to continue on, then they were going to continue his contract otherwise. But I now know it's a movie. He is continuing on Spider-Man as a film. Now, why it's two, I don't know. Maybe the second one now for Sony is seeing him in Venom. It could be. The more I hear about this, the more it makes me upset. The more I hear about this, the more it gets me upset. The more it feels like that we're gonna come to that conclusion that Spider-Man's out in the MCU, and I'm not happy about it.
As time progresses,
we'll find out more.
I'm not mad nor upset about the furtherness of this story. I think if he leaves, I think a lot of people are going to be upset, which we've had long conversations about. I don't think there's a win here. I think if they don't want Tom Holland Spider-Man to continue in the MCU, they should at least let him finish with the MCU and then take him away.
Finish his story. Give him that at least. So, but do you want to talk about little theories you and I both have and what they could possibly do? You want to talk about your Skrull story?
No, I think that's not until we have... I don't want to start talking about theories until we have clear-cut answers.
Okay. Yeah, he came up with a really good idea a couple days ago, and I wasn't for it at first, but then I kind of tried to mix my theory with his theory. It still didn't feel right to me.
And which we'll talk about
when we get to that point. There will be a theory video on what Sony and Marvel are going to do after the Spider-Man thing happens.
Yeah, I think
it's going to be hard not to talk about anything movie related without bringing up the Spider-Man thing at least once after we get a confirmation about it, whether it be good or bad.
It's the same thing when the Fox deal was going down for the past few years, and we always thought, okay, what does this mean for X-Men?
We really haven't talked about the Fox thing at all on this channel.
It's not
we talked about it a little bit when it started.
Well, yeah, I mean, it happened. They own it now. We're getting movies.
But the repercussions that it's having on Fox is kind of crazy.
Yeah, the business stuff is pretty bad, but that's a different...
That fly really likes you.
A difference of things. But, I don't know. I think that's everything.
Yeah, I think so.
For the day, for this week. If there's any news stories that we missed, please comment down below, as we would love to cover them a different time, or maybe make a special video dedicated to them, as we are only here for about an hour, sometimes a little over an hour, sometimes almost 2 hours. My gosh, last week was a long podcast. But
we also had under and over on last week's podcast.
Approve or disapprove.
Approve or disapprove, over and under. That sounds like a really weird thing.
So,
and as I said earlier, make sure to check back on the channel this weekend or early next week for the first episode of Dark Crystal's reaction. I'm really looking forward to tonight. I've been looking forward to the show for a while. And I also have... can we promote the other stuff for other channels on here too if we want?
Yeah, of course.
I'm posting my first toy hunt on the channel. I'll talk about more on my channel, but just to let everybody know, if you want to come over and join me on my first toy hunt of my actual collecting of a line to start, come over and we'll watch. You can watch me get the figures and all that kind of stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And, of course, once again, something to keep in mind, that both our channels, we are not fully here we both have separate channels that we work on.
Mm-hmm.
Some more daily than others.
Yes.
But everybody works on their channels at their own time,
Mm-hmm.
and they're both linked down below. Mine, like I say, every time we start a podcast, every time we start a video, is Jacob is here, is linked down below in case that is something you want to directly go to.
And mine's RZ Jones 18, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point.
Yeah.
He didn't say it.
And that's all, folks.
All right, Porky the Pig. You said it perfectly too. That's all, folks. Are we adding a WB cartoon?
Sure.
Da
fine.
da 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 da.
Well, that was
Copyright.
embarrassing. Gosh, it'd be so annoying.
We got a copyright for me doing the da da da.
And we got a copyright for That's All, Folks, and that. But we have yet to get a copyright
Wait a
on
minute,
a
if
trailer.
Spider-Man didn't get copyrighted for their pig saying "That's all, folks" and then referencing it, I think we're okay.
No.
Is he allowed to say that?
But, yeah. So if you guys... you guys what?
If you guys want to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and always leave a comment and hit that notification bell, it's going to be on top of his head.
It's not, but sure. And we will talk to you guys very soon.
Yep.
I do want to mention I know we said our outro, but I do want to mention, because I meant to mention it before, is that as we do the first week of September, at some point we'll have another live show on here talking for approve or disapprove. We'll have to figure it out when it comes time.
Clowns.
Yes, clowns. But yeah, okay, so we'll talk to you guys then. Bye.
Bye.